Hi everyone, welcome back to Harbor Me by Jacqueline Woodson. With me, Miss Ortiz. Hello, how are you? So, we just finished chapter 8, and along with chapter 8, we looked at some pretty interesting research about the Lenape Native American tribe that used to inhabit a large part of New York City and Manhattan many, many years ago before the area was colonized and settled by Europeans. And we know this because this is something that Haley's class has been discussing with Miss Laverne, and it seems to be something that Haley is really fascinated about. She is really interested in the stories of the Native American people whose land was taken from them, and she is so interested in this idea of stories on stories about what happens to people, what happens next, and how we're all interconnected with one another. And we also saw where the title of the book comes from, this idea of being a harbor, a safe place for a person. When her teacher says, if the worst thing in the world happened, would I help protect someone else? Would I let myself be a harbor for someone who needs it? I want each of you to say to the other, I will harbor you. And as we know, the name is Harbor Me. So this idea of protecting people has become very important to her class, to Miss Laverne, to Haley specifically. We know that Haley wants to protect her memories. So this idea of protection has come up quite a bit throughout her story. So let's dive into chapter 9 and see what's going to happen next. Chapter 9. Oops, let me just zoom in a little bit here. Okay. The following Friday, we took our seats in the circle in the art room. Amari took out his sketch pad. Ashton and the other guys started flipping through comic books, and me and Haley talked to each other. It was warm in the classroom. The school had turned the heat on, and the tall radiators beneath the windows made soft hissing noises. We started peeling off our jackets and uniform sweaters. Even Esteban took off his Yankee jacket. Holly stood up and unbuttoned her school shirt. Underneath it, she was wearing a gold t-shirt with the word magic across the front. You still have to wear your uniform, Amari said. No, I don't. Not here. Holly folded her shirt and put it in her backpack, then sat down again. Remember, they're in that art room, that special room that only they go to at the very end of the day on Fridays. Amari looked annoyed, like he wished he'd thought to wear a different shirt. You're going to get Miss Laverne in trouble. Teachers can't get in trouble, Holly said. They're like the god of school. Nah, the principal is the god. The teachers are the angels, Ashton said. I had a teacher who was more like the devil once, Tiago said. She was so mean, you couldn't even crack a joke. She'd just yell at you for not even doing anything bad. Miss Laverne never yells, Holly said. We all agreed. But geez, it's hot as the H word in here, Holly said. Amari said the H word. You can say it in here. Who wants to? Holly said. I got smarter words. Anybody can curse. Before Amari could get mad, I took out the voice recorder. Hey guys, can I ask you something? Speak, Red, Amari said. Holly's mom had cornrowed my hair into a bun on the top of my head. I thought it looked less red when it was in cornrows, but I guess Amari didn't think so. I explained to them about the recorder and played part of what I had recorded the night before. Just fix that, sorry. It's like you're trying to remember us. Amari leaned back in his chair. We're right here, though. But I guess in an hour we won't be. And maybe next week we won't be even in this room again, like that kid that moved away who used to be in our class. Remember him? Ashton added. He looked at me. We don't have his voice anymore. That dude never talked, Amari said. We never had his voice. If anybody asked me what he sounded like, I would be like, duh. You all remember his voice? The rest of us shook our heads. I remember his curly hair, I said, but that's not something you can listen to. Let me hear how I sound. I turned the recorder on, and Amari started to rap. My name is A, yeah, and that's okay, 'cause around the way, it's like, what's up, what's up, what's up, A? Esteban looked like he was on the verge of laughing. I played it back, and then all of us were laughing. Amari's voice sounded off. Too slow for rapping, but too strange to be anything else. It just needs some music behind it, Amari said. You want me to sing? No, Hallie said. Please don't add more hot air. Whoops. To this already hot room. And plus, that's not what Haley is asking us, right? I shrugged. I didn't think anything we said into the recorder was going to be wrong. It was all a part of us. I would have liked to hear what Amari sounded like when he sang. It's for stories, Hallie said, grabbing the recorder from me, turning it on and speaking into it. It's for us getting remembered when we're not here anymore. It's for you not grabbing stuff out of people's hands, Amari said. Holly handed the recorder back to me and didn't say anything. Sometimes her hands and mouth worked faster than her brain and made her say and do stuff she didn't really mean to do, like grab stuff and say stuff. I don't mind, I said to Amari, pressing the stop button, because I didn't. Holly and I had been friends forever, and one thing about friends, they understand you. I like that it's for memory. Esteban crossed his legs. He looked like the Buddha sitting there. I held the recorder out to him hopefully. You want to try? You just push this button. Then you can tell the world about your dad. You can tell them your whole story. I don't know if I want to do that. Esteban pushed the recorder back at me. My uncle says that when you tell stories, it's like letting all the scared inside of you. I said, it's like you help stuff make sense. Esteban looked down at the jacket he had draped over his lap. Then he started touching it gently like he was remembering something about it. It makes me sad too, he said. I don't know if my papi is cold or hot or hungry or scared right now. He took a deep breath. I don't know anything. Nobody in my family does. But what about the stuff you do know, E? Amari asked. If you talked about all the stuff, you know? And things you remember from before, Ashton added. Would that make it not so bad? Esteban shrugged. ARTT, Amari said. A room to talk. We got you, E. Esteban reached out for the recorder. His nails were bitten so deep there was a ring of pink skin at the top of his fingers. It looked painful. After a minute, he curled his fingers over the recorder and took it from me. Okay, he said. I think I do want to talk. About him. About my papi. And that's where we will pick up next time with Chapter 10. We will finally learn what happened to Esteban's father, so stay tuned.